Hey, good morning everybody. Welcome back to the homestead. I'm feeling a little bit of deja vu this morning and I'm going to tell you why. That's because I'm building hoop coops again. So if you watch my video back in California, I made 2 hoop coops. And then in the chaos and the stress of the move, I didn't have enough time to disassemble them or room to bring them down here. So I left them back on the California homestead. But I quickly realized down here that I need more than the 1 chicken coop for 2 types of turkeys, ducks, and chickens. They're just not happy in there. So it's time to build some more hoop coops. Let's get to it. Okay, so let me give you a quick rundown of some of the tools that I'm going to be using. We've got a level and square, an assortment of screwdriver bits, some clamps to hold the cattle panels in place, tin snips to cut the pipe hanger, J-clip hook for the J-clips, snips also for cutting chicken wire, assortment of drill bits, bolt cutters, stapler, an assortment of screws that we're going to be needing, the pipe hanger, a couple drills, and then over here, see, we got chop saw, cut saw, and then the supplies that we're going to be needing. Chicken wire to go over the cattle panels, 2x6 treated lumber. You can also use 2x4. 2x4s for the end framework. What you'll need for 1 coop is 2 12-foot 2x6 or 2x4s for the frame, 2 8-foot 2x4s or 2x6 for the ends. That'll be your base on the bottom. Okay, and then over here in the back of the trailer we have the cattle panels. These are gonna form the hoop. You'll need 3 for each hoop coop. I've got 6 here because I'm planning on building 2 hoop coops today. So there's a quick rundown of the tools I'm going to be using and the supplies that you need. Oh, don't let me forget. Also, you are going to need a tarp of some sort. Last time I was able to purchase these tarps. They're basically used billboards. I got mine from repurposedmaterials.com last time. They were sold out. I found a place called billboards.com where they sell them, and I purchased this. This is big enough to do 3. So we'll unroll it, see what we got, and this will go over the top at the end. Alright, so I got my frames done. I picked the position where I wanted to put them, because you don't want to be moving these around once they're fully built, at least not very far. They're going to be pretty heavy. So I got my 2x6 frames done. I used 10x4 inch screws to screw them in on the sides. I used a square to make sure it was relatively square. So that's it. Framework is done. The next thing to do is adjust their position a little bit more. I do want it butted up against the fence a lot closer, but I do need room to work, so I can't move this into the final position yet. But you want to get them as close as possible to avoid heavy lifting and frustration in the end. So once I reposition these slightly, I'm going to put the hoops in them and then start fastening down the hoops. Oh yeah, one more thing I forgot to say. I pre-drilled the holes to keep the wood from splitting and then put the screws in. And if I didn't mention, this is treated lumber, treated #1 lumber for, because it's going to be getting moisture and ground contact. Okay, so I wanted to take a second and explain a little bit. I think you saw me struggling with the direction of these panels. And the reason that I switched up the direction is because you can see this one's on the inside and the vertical is on the outside. I'm going to be securing the vertical to the wood, so I wanted it to be flush. If I had it turned around the other way, it would be, a 1/4 inch away from the wood when I was securing it, because the horizontals would hold it out, because I'm going to raise it up like that, right? So yeah, that's why I did it that way. And also, these panels are 16 foot long by 50 inches wide, or 50 inches this way. So on a 12-foot board, that's going to give you 6 inches too much. Okay, so we're going to have to cut 6 inches off. But the beauty of these panels is this last section, let me do it the right way for you guys, is actually 6 inches wide. So on these last panels, that's why I didn't put them up. I'm going to have to cut this last section off, and then I can place it in. And then also I'm going to zip tie these together so we don't have these gaps like this, so they'll all be equal and even. So I'm going to zip tie them together just to make it easy for me to work with. That way they're not swaying all around and wiggling, getting off center when I'm attaching them to the foundation. Okay, so cutting 6 inches off the last 2 panels, aligning them, zip tying them, and then we'll get to securing them. Alright, you guys caught me making a mistake right there. So yeah, I got the panel cut, put it in, and it didn't fit. So I had to cut it again. And basically, these cattle panels are about 6-inch squares, but the last 2 are smaller. They're like 4 to 5 inches. I think they're 4-inch squares right here. So it has 2 4-inch sections, and then the rest are 6, which worked out luckily in my favor. So calculations were correct. 6-foot hoop coop, 6-foot of, 3 panels is 6 foot, cutting off, 6 inches, right? 3 50-inch panels is 6 foot 6 inches. Well, my calculations would have worked, except for right here. This is a 12 foot 2x4, but when you put it together like this, you're losing this space on both sides, and I didn't account for that. The last ones I built, I think I put this on the outside because I was thinking ahead and not in a rush to build them. That's why they worked out the last time. However, that being said, let me show you how I have to cut them. Okay, here's the panel that I cut the 6-inch section off of right there. Okay, this panel I cut it off of this side over here. There was that 6-inch section there, but on this side you can see there's the 4-inch section, 2 4-inch sections. So I've got to cut this 4-inch section off, and then it'll fit in there perfectly. So yes, I made a mistake. Hopefully you guys are watching this video and you learned from the mistake, but it's correctable. So let me get it done. Okay, so I got the hoops all secured in. You can see they're still wobbly, but that'll change once I get the framework on the ends put in. but I wanted to give you a closer look at how I fastened them. Just use that pipe hanger metal and then cut it and then screw it into the things all the way down. Same thing on the other side. So the hoops are now officially attached, and it's time to start the end framework for the doors, and it's also going to help support the hoops vertically. So basically I'm going to make a 3-foot doorway. I've got a 7-foot board right here, so 2 feet on each end, 3-foot door in the middle. We're just going to frame it up and get going on that stuff work. Okay, so got all the end framework. So this front side here is framed up for a door, and it's not going to be perfect because the hoops don't sit on perfectly. So you can see that this side is a little bit shorter, this side's a little bit taller, but that's just because the arch isn't like completely symmetrical. And you know, your boards, those are just there for support, to support the frame. Same thing for the other side. See, I got that one all janky up there and the small one down there. There's no door on that side, so that strictly is for support. And then I might use that angled board right there to support a roost inside, so it's going to work out in the long run. But it is, hoop coop number 1 is completely framed up. It's ready for chicken wire and the door. So we're going to move on to framing up coop number 2. Okay, so let me catch you up with some description from what you just saw. So basically it's all framed up, hoops are on, I made the doors. Now when you have these ends, it's chicken wire that's going to enclose them, not the hoop coop. So you basically just, if you get a 6-foot tall roll of chicken wire and you cut it to 7 feet, this is about 6 foot tall. It's a little bit over 6 foot tall, but it will stretch. So the 6-foot roll, you roll it out to 7 feet, you cut a little bit off the edge, and you attach it on there. Now you have two options. You can use zip ties, which won't last forever, or you can use these little J clips. The last time, let me show you these J clips. I used a ton of them on my last project. Where my J clips go? Shoot, dang. Here is the J clip pliers. Okay, and the J clips are MIA at the moment. Oh, here they are. And they take forever and they don't work right. I don't know if it's my technique, my pliers, or if there's different size J clips. I don't know. Here's the J clips. So they go in the pliers and then they fold around. Or maybe just the diameter of the cattle panel is too thick for them to work properly. But they're kind of a pain in the butt. My recommendation is to use both, combination of J clips and zip ties. Zip ties are faster, don't last as long. And the J clips weren't very strong either. So that's my little tidbit of information about these J clips right here. Okay, and I just wanted to get it done, so I put on the zip ties. So 6-foot roll of chicken wire, stretch it to 7 feet, staple it on as you saw me do, use zip ties around the edge, fold all the sharp points down so it doesn't rip your tarp that you're going to put over the top. And then I did it all in one panel, and then I just cut the door out so that the door opens. Okay, I'm going to put handles on that and a lock later. Once you do that, you can cut it into 16-foot lengths. 2 16-foot lengths will cover the whole coop. Just roll, cut it into 16 foot, roll it over, staple it on the bottom. The last time I did this, I J-clipped them all over here. But I realized that once you put the tarp on and you strap the tarp down, this chicken wire is not going to blow off. It's stapled on the bottom, it ain't going anywhere. So it was really unnecessary to do that. It's probably unnecessary to put it all the way over the top. You probably just need it on the bottom part where predators might try to get in. You're going to have the tarp over it anyway, but if something rips the tarp, these holes are big enough without the chicken wire for them to get in. So same thing on the back side. There's no door here. This is just framework to help support the hoop coop, and you just staple all your chicken wire to that. And same thing, J-clip and zip ties around the ends. Alright, so there's a storm rolling in. I'm not going to put the tarp on it today, but pretty much it's the same process. I'm going to cut the tarp to size, throw it over the top, and screw it onto the bottom on both sides, and then weather strap it over the top, which you'll see later. So the only other thing I got to do is I've got to get hinges for this door, or find hinges for this door, install the door, and do the same thing with the chicken wire and attach it to this coop as well. So there you have it. You're all caught up. Now the fun part, to see what billboard you got. What the heck is this? Let's see. Early voting starts December 14th. Healthjobs.justice. Paid for by John Ossoff for Senate. I learned more at elections.com. Healthjobs.justice. Well, I don't really know what that is, but that sounds like a bunch of liberal bullshit to me. If I'm not mistaken, I don't know who Jossoff is. Hopefully he's not a Republican. But yeah, that's definitely going black side up. See, the crazy thing about it is, I think this side is protected. This side here is UV protected, and this side is not. It looks definitely different. I might have to put them right side up, but we'll see. Let me see how I have to cut these.